Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. Today we have the Voodoo ring spinner for review. And yeah, I'm feeling slightly better from my previous video, which should be the Crystallis spinner. Yeah guys, I actually kind of just record videos whenever and then I just take the time to edit it. So whenever I update stuff, it's not always in the chronological order that I recorded the video in. Yeah, it just depends on how quickly I could edit the video. Some videos take a little bit more time and more effort to edit. I'm gonna digress, so I'm gonna stop myself right there and I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Voodoo spinner. This is a ring spinner offering by none other than Damn Designs, and a big shout out to Adrian D'Souza once again for bringing the heat and providing me with this. Now, he mentioned to me that he actually wanted to send this over to me like quite some time back, but for some reason I think he forgot to include it in the package or something like that, and so he finally sent it over to me. And it looks like a pretty simplistic design. It's like two squares, just 45-degree angles from each other, but it's got a huge angled edge and it's rounded all on the outside like that. And I'm gonna just put this out there first. I don't know if there will be another run of the Voodoo ring spinner because right now it is sold out. It was going for $59.99 USD. And at this point of time, I might as well address something that someone left in the comments of one of my previous videos and asked, why do I even bother reviewing a spinner if it's sold out? And I know I responded to his comment, but I want to be transparent and share this with everyone as well because I think it's good information to know. The reason why I still do review videos is because, okay, number one, sometimes a maker sends something to me and by the time I receive it, because I'm living all the way here in Singapore, by the time I get it, even before I actually sit down and take a video of it, it's already sold out. So that's one thing that you have to take note of. Number two, makers sometimes send stuff to me because they want me to review, not because they want to push the product out. You guys know I don't push products out. I don't sell products. I don't help people to sell their products as well. I give feedback, I give review, I give my thoughts. And these videos basically are not just for the viewers, not just for you guys, but also for the makers themselves, because they want to hear what I think about their product. They want to hear my feedback, and a lot of the time they actually take in the feedback, which is actually pretty good. So these are the two main reasons why I still put out review videos even if a spinner is no longer on sale or if it's sold out. And let's just be frank, most of the time these designs will be re-released. They're gonna have a next run or a next wave unless the maker themselves say that they want to retire the design completely. And last but not least, of course, the fact that I review the spinner is also just basically telling everyone that, hey, look, this spinner actually exists, and whether it's good or not, what I think about it, you know. So basically, that's it. Okay, ramble over. Like I mentioned, this is currently sold out. I don't know if there'll be another run of the Voodoo spinner, but the Voodoo is actually pretty well made. You can see that it sports a very nice, very smooth brush finish, and the brushing is interesting. Okay, I'm gonna say interesting because when you look at the face of it, it's all brushed in one direction, and on the sides here as well, it's all one direction. But when you look at the outer areas like that, they look kind of angled. I don't even know how that is done, but I like it, yeah. So the lines here, actually, these edges, they're not even hard edges, they're just totally rounded. The lines here, they look like they're brushed, but they're brushed in multiple directions. You can't even see anything because it looks like a satin kind of a finish. It looks like media blasted, but it is not. It's not uneven. It's not like... It's just a smooth transition from brushing of this angle to the brushing of this angle. Is a really smooth transition. And out here, you can see that it's slightly flat. Like out here, you can see a slight flat line like that. And on the inner ring here, this is machine finish, and you have a little ring, and this ring is basically just a screw cap retention bearing method, and this bearing that I'm using in here is a 6703 bearing. So with that mentioned, the Voodoo actually comes with another bearing, which is a 6704 bearing, and it comes along with the respective sized bearing retention cap as well, so you can just swap it out if you prefer something that is a little bit wider. Now right now, 6703 bearings sit in the middle joint of my index finger. For the 6704 bearing, it sits up here. Not the same fit as a loophole, slightly, and I mean very slightly looser, very slightly looser. But this is the same size that I went for my hex spinner, 6704. Interesting. So for those of you with slightly bigger fingers than me, you might consider using this bearing size instead, and it's a very simple swap. All you gotta do is just remove this. I know that this actually doesn't really fit a lot of bearing retention tools, but you could just use a standard bearing retention tool and then just start from one side and twist it out a little bit, and then use your thumb and kind of just unscrew it all the way, then install this one in the same fashion that you took the old one out. It's quite a simple procedure. I won't even waste your time by showing it to you guys. So this thing is zero hotspots. I mean, You guys already can tell there's no sharp edges at all. So zero hot spots. But one thing I will say is that it's very, very comfortable. It's a very unique feel, very comfortable, and very easy to regenerate your spins because these are not sharp. They're just really, really, really nice. Just really, really comfortable. And this is quite a solid ring spinner. But there's always a but, right? But I don't like ring spinners that sit here. I like ring spinners that sit here. But once again, this design doesn't work well if it sits up here because it's kind of wide. Like just compare from the bearing or the inner race of the bearing to the outside. Look at that. Even on the thinnest edge out here, it's quite chunky, right? It's quite hefty. So nah. Oh yeah, the one more thing that I like about this is that there's a Damn Designs logo here that is, it's trademark of all Damn Design spinners, but it's a very subtle, very nice touch right there. Just cool. This is going for $59.99, guys. There's not much that I can say about it because I think it's a very bold design. Very plain and simple if you think about it. It's two squares that are just 45 degrees and all of this edges here just very, very nicely beveled. Yeah, I think let's just call this a beveled edge. It's very nicely beveled and very nicely finished as well. If there's anything that I would say I wish that could be added to this was for it to have a slug. Now, since I said that, I have the slug from the production cube, and the production cube uses a 6703 bearing as well, so that is why this slug is going to fit on perfectly. And you guys have seen, not just myself, but I think someone else, I forgot who you are. I'm sorry, I want to give you props, but I forgot who you are. On the Daily Fidget, that actually posted a picture of using this slug on the Voodoo ring spinner, and let me tell you guys, this as a hand spinner is it's good. It's really, really good. I wish Adrian could try this out for himself. I don't know if he has a slug of his own, like a prototype slug or something. I don't know if he has the correct size buttons, but Adrian, if you're watching this video, I know you will be watching this video anyway. Adrian, when you watch this video, I really hope that you give this a shot. I really hope that you'll try to find some way to make a button or a slug or something for the 6703 bearing for the Damn Designs line because, dude, this thing is a winner in terms of being a hand spinner. I mean, look. The reflections look like, if I were to flame this to be of a goldish tone, it's gonna look like a spinning ball of fire. But out here though, look at that shape, guys. This is just cool. Look at how even the whole thing is. Cool looking spinner, man. It looks so solid. Oh, look at that reflection. You guys like that, right? Because I do. Yeah, so this is an awesome hand spinner, if only it was meant to be a hand spinner. But it's a pretty good ring spinner. I gotta be honest and fair and say that ring spinners that sit here really isn't really my taste. But this, original intention for this wasn't to be a hand spinner, unlike the production cube or unlike, say for example, the Halo or the Nucleus. But as a ring spinner, this is actually pretty solid because this is one of the heavier offerings out there as well. And as a hand spinner, if you get a slug or something, if you make your own, then this is definitely a good hand spinner as well. Now, really quickly, I'm going to give you guys a size comparison of this versus a stubby. And you can see that it is bigger than a stubby in every aspect, every single aspect. And because this is a 6703 ring spinner, I'm just going to do everyone a favor and compare it to some other ring spinners that are also using the 6703 bearing. Okay, well, it's not really fair for me to say that the Nucleus is a 6703 bearing ring spinner because you actually have a few different options, but 6703 is one of the options, so I'm just going to show it to you guys like how this actually compares. It is in between. It's a bit bigger than the production cube, but a little bit smaller than the Nucleus itself. If you compare the Nucleus like that, yep, in sheer height, yes, but if you angle it like that, it's gonna be slightly bigger than the Voodoo. And these two, yeah guys, I mentioned these two earlier, they double up as hand spinners as well. So the main thing I will say about the Voodoo ring spinner is that I wish that it had a slug, or it came with a slug. Even to table spin it, it's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? That's really just my opinion, guys, Just wanted to share that with you guys. So my final verdict on the Voodoo ring spinner is that the design is really subjective to whoever wants to get this design. For me, I think it's a little bit plain. Quite surprised at this design offering, but if you put it next to, say for example, the Hex ring spinner, then yeah, I mean, this is a little bit more intricate than the Hex ring spinner, which was basically a hexagon design. So this is the Hex spinner, guys, and yeah, I've done a little bit of work on it. I've stonewashed it, and you guys can see the little rainbow motif inside the logo, right? Yeah, I did all that. But anyway, yeah, I was talking about this, and I was saying that if you compare these two side by side, basically they look like kind of a little bit different from what Damn Designs usually offers. I mean, you got very nice, very fluid designs like the Triad, the Invictus, and you got other interesting designs, for example, the Turbulence. But then you have the Hex, which is basically just a hexagon, and then you have the Voodoo, which is just 2 squares. But the hexagon is a little bit different as well because it's 2 titanium plates and it houses 3 larger trits that you can actually view from 3 sides, which is 2 faces and on the edge as well, which is very cool, very interesting, and works well as a ring spinner. But for the Voodoo, it's solid stainless steel, 1 piece with a removable bearing, and you can also swap out for a different bearing size, so you can actually have 2 options. But no trit slots, brush finish, and just a single solid piece design. It's very subjective. Like I said, some people are just gonna simply love it. Some people will think, oh my goodness, this is really cool. And for me, I think it looks like a sun when it's spinning, which is pretty cool. It's like a spinning ball of fire, like I mentioned before, but it doesn't really shout to me. It just looks cool. It's like, oh, okay, cool. That's a nice looking ring spinner. But when I turned it into a hand spinner by using a slug, then this thing appealed to me a lot more. I don't know why. I don't know why, guys. I'm just strange that way. But yeah, I mean, fidgeting with this guy is not a problem. It's not going to cause you finger fatigue because these are just not uncomfortable. I know that some of you will be probably skeptical and say, it looks like it's going to cause you some finger fatigue over time. But let me just tell you, okay, I spent a long time with this. And I sat in the office and I just fidgeted with it over and over again, and no, I didn't feel any finger fatigue. It's just a very different feel. Most of the time when you have a ring spinner, you kind of expect to feel a solid flat edge when you have your fingers landing like that. I mean, yeah, it could be a curved area, but it's still flat. But this one isn't flat. Much like the Turbulence, when you actually land your finger on the Turbulence, the top and the bottom faces, it's not flat. So this is also one of those kind of unique feels that only Damn Designs has. It's their unique offering to the whole spinner game. If one thing that is, I really like the side profile. So guys, that's really it. Whoever's gotten this Voodoo ring spinner, good job, because I think it's a nice ring spinner to add to your collection. Simplistic design. I don't want to contradict myself and say that it's a very nice design because, yeah, it doesn't appeal to me, but it is a simplistic design, right? Some people just really love it, I know. And going for $60 under 60, 1 cent under 60, $59.99. Removable bearing system, swappable for different bearing sizes because you have a different ring for the 6703 and 6704 bearing respectively. I don't know what other packaging this comes in because Adrian sent this over to me as a review piece, so I can't really represent that very well. But it being Damn Designs, guys, we all know the presentation and the packaging that Damn Designs put their spinners in is just top notch. Thank you so much for sharing in this slice of my life, and I hope that I provided enough information to help you decide whether or not the Voodoo ring spinner is a ring spinner for you. Like I mentioned again, I don't know if there'll be another run for these, but as always, links in the video description below. Go check them out, and I will put links to the Facebook page as well because they're starting to get more and more active on Facebook, so make sure you check them out as well over there. You got a few giveaways here and there, and stay tuned as well because they got quite a few new spinners coming out, like the Schism. I'm looking forward to that. That's about it, everyone. I'll catch y'all in the next slice of my life. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and Gaga Boos. Gaga Boos.